Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Luke Triton versus Phoenix Wright. Previously, Layton tried his best to prevent a prophecy from coming true, but in so doing, fell victim to it. A witch turned him into a solid gold statue, and then his arm got torn off for good measure. Now, Phoenix is defending Maya Fey in court, and among the witness stand, trying to condemn Maya, is Luke, vengeful and in dismay. He's not thinking straight. He's letting his grief consume him because indeed he believes Layton is dead. So I guess we'll pick things back up with our first round of testimony. Right, so about my quick saves, I forgot to mention it last time, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what happened and why it broke. I googled around and it seems that updating your emulator will pretty much destroy your quick saves when it comes to Citra, so I absolutely did in fact do that, so lesson learned, I won't update Citra again for the duration of this playthrough, so my quick save should work, hopefully. Anyway. I heard a woman scream. Woman? No. Sorry, my headspace is still thinking of Emeer talking about, the previous trial, man. Okay. I heard a scream and an incantation, and then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny. Mayhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silcat had a knife at the ready in his hand. Really? Huh. Victim of magic, sparkly and done for. I heard the staff fall on the floor. The professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face. I see. Thank you all. However, one part of the testimony was somewhat confusing. You there, the singer. A singer? Could you possibly mean me, Birdley the Bard, your excellence? Yes, that would be you, singer. This staff that you said son about. It is as you suspect, my lord. This very witch's scepter. There are two different magic gems attached, meaning the perpetrator could have used two types of magic. Yeah, it would seem so. This gem here enables the use of a gold transmutation spell, Goldor. 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 Just the word alone makes the tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Aw man, what? I'm reminded of my Chrono Trigger Let's Play. There was this big skeleton on a bridge and I lost my mind over its name. And it sounded like Goldor. What was it? Was it something like Skuldor? Anyway, I'm getting deja vu. Yeah, that was a fun Let's Play. Chrono Trigger turned out to be a really good game. Lived up to the hype. Har, that's the one, all right. That's the dreadful incantation that I, Emeer Punchinbog the First, also heard. Oh, dearie, dearie me. I have seen that scepter, so I have. Clank. It tips over the golden man. The scepter falls, not the witch's plan. That was horrible. Oh, dearie, dearie me. How dare she do that to the professor? By the way, this witch's scepter was found on the floor near the victim. If you'll turn your attention to the sketched plans, it was located right here. Shouldn't that be where all the powder on the floor was? A scepter dropped by the accused would naturally tumble to exactly that spot. Well, that's a reach. Inquisitor Barnum, what you're saying amounts to nothing more than a baseless assumption. You are on edge today, Sir Blue Knight. Is it because your friend is on trial? Perhaps you had better cool yourself down. Well, anyway, the court accepts the scepter as evidence. Thank you, my lord. Alright. But what does the purple gem do? I'm kind of tempted to look at the Grand Grimoire, but I preferred if it came up naturally in the dialogue. Oh, well there you go. Gold ore. Inquisitor Barnum, may I ask you something? What is it now, Sir Blue Knight? We know that one of the gems is for the spell Gold Ore, but what about the other one? A naive question. Huh? Naivety may be no hindrance to a baker who spends most of his time amidst bread, but it can be your undoing here in court. I mean, asking a question and wishing to further your knowledge is the opposite of naivety? Would a knight put a weapon in his enemy's hand? He's telling me to do my homework, huh? Mr. Wright, I'll look for information about that magic gem in the Grand Grimoire. Thank you, Espella. That would be great. Just leave it to me. She seems very happy to help. The defender may interrogate the witnesses. Well, let's do just that. Sir, why are you drinking poison? I heard a scream and an incantation. Then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny. Hold it! Oh. Looks like we'll be doing the, look around at the other witnesses, huh? Maybe? And, what is all this about, exactly? What do you mean, Blue Squire? Your gaudy, colorful outfit? I mean, your attire was different last time. A little more modest. The Emeer you knew back then is no more. I'm a new man now, reborn into the higher echelons of society. He would not know how to pronounce echelons. What's he drinking? There's a skull and crossbones mark on that bottle. Enough idle chatter. The witness heard a scream and an incantation, is that correct? That's right. It's just like what you said earlier, Inquisitor Barnum. It was a spell Gold Ore, and it was without a doubt the voice of the accused that said it. No one has any issue? Well, Luke's thinking, but... However, it's rather peculiar. When I saw the accused and the victim together last time, they seem to be on friendly terms. The next witness will dispel your doubts, my lord. Mayhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silkhat had a knife at the ready in his hand. Hold it! Are you saying you think they quarreled? The other day I saw you all together in this very court, and you were evidently friends. Well, yeah, that's true, but what's that got to do with... Now everyone listen carefully. No chatting in the back row. What I say now will be in the next exam. Miss Primstone's lesson number 5. A friendship leads to nothing but trouble. Oh, those poor children. People would not break up and part their ways in anger if they did not become friends in the first place. Okay. Everyone's just... Alright, so Luke's still thinking. He's contemplative. The kids in her class must grow up to be model citizens. Oh, dearie, dearie me. What I saw in that room curdled the blood in my veins. Mr. Silcat was pointing that glittering knife ever so threateningly. Hello. Luke has something to say. It's kind of a shame. I feel like if I questioned him, I wouldn't be able to see what, the cross-examination pressing for Birdley and Luke would be.
Hang on!
Is everything okay, Luke?
No, of course it's not okay. The professor was a true gentleman, and no gentleman would go around threatening people with knives.
Wow, he is angry. I couldn't agree more.
Silly boy, I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating that I am a liar, you cheeky little whippersnapper?
Wow. Sudden flashbacks to Sebastian de Best. He bends the baton and nearly whips her face.
The professor would never do that. You don't know him.
At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize.
Mr. Wright.
What is it?
I think there was some important information in Miss Primstone's testimony.
Really?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not my place to say things like that.
I didn't notice anything. What could that be? What was Espella about to say? Yeah, ask her to speak out. Espella, why don't you tell us all what you've noticed?
Oh, is that okay? It's just something I'd like to ask Miss Primstone about.
Well, just go ahead and ask her.
Excuse me, Miss Primstone? Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, it's you, Miss Espella Cantabella. Miss Primstone, did you actually see the knife that Mr. Layton was holding? I did, as a matter of fact, yes. I remember that glinting blade very well. A most frightening sight it was, too. And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now if we look at the sketch... When the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct?
That must have been the case. Otherwise, the witness would not have been able to see it.
Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right?
The direction the professor was facing. That could be important. This information shall be added to the court record.
I'm sorry I jumped in like that, but I really wanted to help.
Not at all, Espella. We're able to get some more info, which may just come in handy.
You think so?
Now then, the next witness shall continue with the testimony. Good, we get to continue. Ow, my ears! He's so bad. I ought to look at that floor plan. Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? Layton is not facing towards his would-be assailant. He's pointing the knife at some other direction. Victim of magic, sparkly and done for, I heard the staff fall on the floor. Whoops, wrong button. Whoops, wrong button.
Hold it!
Would you mind describing what you saw without singing about it? As you wish, my musically impaired friend. Simply put, when I entered the room, the victim was worth his weight in gold, for obvious reasons. Well, that kind of answers the question, isn't it? It's not a knife that the lady saw. It was just his pointing finger. Huh. He tipped over and fell heavily onto the floor. The room became drearily silent. And then I heard that scepter tumbling across the floor. Oh? Someone has something to say here?
Hang on!
May I ask you something, Miss Primstone?
Dearie me, oh, dearie me. My dear, do not frighten me so. I feel like a schoolgirl caught napping during class.
Miss Primstone, did you see the witch's scepter at the crime scene?
Well, about that I must confess I do not clearly recall.
You don't remember?
When I went into the room, the golden man fell down and made quite the ruckus. That is why I did not notice a scepter being dropped.
I wonder if the sound Birdley heard was just Layton's arm? Huh. So you didn't see it after all.
But I am certain that witch girl had it. She must have been hiding it behind her back.
Oh, not this shit again. Please don't assume Maya is a witch just because she's been accused. Miss Primstone is certainly quick to make assumptions. I see. Now we would like to hear the next witness's testimony. This next witness is a bit problematic.
The professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there face to face.
Hold it!
Luke, open your eyes. Maya isn't a witch.
Ever since we came to this town, lots of unbelievable things have happened. And that's why, from now on, I'll only believe what I see with my own eyes. Luke. When I went into that room, the only people I saw were the professor and Maya. The professor had been turned to gold, and Maya dropped that scepter. That's not true.
What? Maya?
I didn't have any scepter, and we weren't the only ones in that.
Silence. The accused has no right to speak. Be silent or you will face punishment. We can end this trial immediately, should you decide you feel talkative again.
I'm sorry.
Well, Luke, is that really the truth?
Huh?
Did you really see the scepter?
I don't know. When the professor turned to gold and collapsed right in front of me, everything seemed to fade to black. And then, I could have sworn I at least heard Maya drop the scepter.
The scepter was found at the scene of the crime. That is the unavoidable truth. Only the accused could have dropped it. This isn't looking good.
I feel so sorry for Luke.
He's so full of anger and despair that he can't think clearly.
He said he can't forgive the witch. I understand how he feels.
Anyway, need to find a way to calm Luke down first of all. Yeah, I know exactly what to do. Confronted Maya face to face? Au contraire.
Objection!
Luke, you said that you will only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what you think you saw may not be the whole truth.
Huh? What do you mean?
Take a close look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Maya were standing here. Now, we have learned from Miss Primstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way.
Oh,
You have testified that the professor confronted Maya face to face. But looking at the sketch of where they were standing, one thing is clear. There is a contradiction in your testimony.
what?
Objection!
Whether they were facing each other or not is of no relevance whatsoever. They were the only ones in that room. One was a victim, thus the other must be the witch.
Objection!
I will ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Miss Primstone's testimony. She told us that the professor was pointing a knife at someone, threateningly. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then, who was he pointing the knife at?
Hold it!
Luke, what is it?
The professor would never point a knife at anyone. I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was the first witness, and I saw no knife. Miss Primstone's testimony is not reliable. Oh, dearie me, will you look at this child sputtering nonsense and talking badly of his elders?
Inquisitor Barnum. Yes, my lord. It should pose no difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had a knife. Yeah, must have been clenched in the hand, right? So it wouldn't be liable to be let go of when he turned to gold. Go fetch the body and bring it in. After all, that sparkling golden body of his has been found at the scene of the crime, has it not? Indeed it has, my lord. Court attendants, you heard the judge. Bring the victim into the courtroom. Seems like they're going to bring the golden statue. Ugh.
Professor.
Yeah, this is a bit macabre. Oh. It was that arm, huh? Great. Just great. Oh, son of a... Look at that.
Did it get damaged in transit? Professor! Professor!
So this is the power of the gold transmutation spell. Most spectacular. It looks like work of the finest artisans. I assure you it is the work of no artisans, my lord. By the way, the missing arm has not yet been found. But what? How? Literally how?
I can't believe this, Professor.
I suppose we should add the victim to the evidence. Wow.
The poor professor who, while searching for evidence, became evidence.
Goldor. This is unfortunate. I thought the evidence would be as good as gold. But although it technically is, we are still no closer to discerning whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please. Maya, the professor didn't have a knife, and also, there was another person in that room. The real witch was there too. Please believe me.
Accused, do I really need to warn you again? Inside the cage, you are to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. Speak again and you shall be punished. Or are you in a particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Sob.
Objection!
But it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone, and that person wasn't Maya. Sir Blue Knight, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise.
Huh?
You do not know what transpired at the crime scene. I mean, he was there? You think this man was pointing at another person, you say? Let me tell you this. Nearly everyone in this court other than you knows what Sir Hat was pointing at.
What?
Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so? I, Emeer Punchinbog the First, love me some gossip and stories of the occult.
Elusive like mist, the magical beast. Its chilling breath brings about death.
That doesn't even rhyme. Yeah, this guy's a sham.
That music, ugh. Oh, dearie, dearie me. You could use some education, Blue Knight. I can offer you private tuition, but it will not come cheap. If the professor wasn't confronting Maya...
Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about this other presence at the crime scene.
Oh, he's drunk. Great.
We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery.
Same place, same magic trick. This time her luck ran out and she dropped that magic scepter. The truth obscured by a twisted ruse, the witch couldn't vanish but did confuse. It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches.
The same magic trick was used? They are referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. Whoa.
So, they think it was witchcraft, but anyone could have done that. The question was that the room was locked, so there was no way to enter or exit, right? So that's why people thought it was a witch, but...
He had locked himself in his study, and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room. The perpetrator disappeared from a locked room, just like in this case. A large amount of powdered medicine was spilt all over the floor. Powdered medicine? Sir Belduc was an alchemist. He possessed various medicinal concoctions. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered that room, clear footprints would have remained, yet there were none.
That's the kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve.
Thus, there were two unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduc's death. The culprit's disappearance from a locked room, and the fact that they appeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away.
In other words, it couldn't have been the Emeer magic that was used in my case the other day.
Seems like the killer levitated above the floor, strangled Belduc, and vanished into thin air.
But what does that have to do with this trial?
It has been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought before this court. We will have justice. But Phoenix and Maya only arrived in town a few days ago.
What?
No way. Now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist too. We weren't even here back then. It's not like I can explain that to him. Why not? Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the two murders.
Objection!
You can't be serious. 3 months ago, we weren't even... Defender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth. Fine. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery.
Hold it!
You're talking about Mr. Belduc's murder, which took place in a locked room. Yeah, real shocker, alright. Everyone was talking about it. People don't say this out loud, but you know, eh? You're thinking it too, eh? I don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Ain't it clear as day? He was an alchemist. An alchemist. Alchemy's just like magic, ain't it? Sir Belduc was a man. Only a woman can be a witch. What's more, witchcraft has nothing to do with alchemy. They're different, somehow. Alchemy is the mysterious art of manipulating the forces of nature, or so it is said. Well, it sounds like a lot like magic to me. Alchemy's incomprehensible to regular people. It's all magic, really. And you know, a couple of days before the witch got him, there was that lightning that struck. Anyone have anything to say about that? I mean, it could be that there's always like a sound effect that plays that's really noticeable, but you never know. Lightning. Glad you're asking, because I like telling that one. All of a sudden, like a bolt from the blue sky, there was this bolt from the sky. Only it wasn't blue. Sky lit up and turned blood red. Then, out of nowhere, an old-looking bell tower appeared in a burst of flames. Makes you realize Mother Nature's pretty powerful stuff, eh? You have strayed off the topic at hand, witness. This is a courthouse, not an inn. Save your thrilling stories for later.
Same place, same magic trick. This time her luck ran out and she dropped that magic scepter.
Hold it!
Would you care to elaborate on that, Miss Primstone?
You could say I am a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time.
The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere, glided through the air and vanished after making the kill?
Indeed, yes, and the witch's scepter confirms my theory.
A brilliant deduction. I am honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself, Miss Primstone. She was his teacher. Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot. Our occult crime analysts have arrived at the same conclusion.
Mr. Wright, I found it. The page about the purple magic gem. The spell's called Familia.
Familia? What does it do? The spell Familia, bound within this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar. Oh! Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air, and vanish when their task is accomplished. They are evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used a familiar to... It was a familiar that took Sir Belduke's life, and now it has appeared again. Oh... Sir Silkhat was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. Yeah. But what good is a knife against an occult creature? It completed the task given to it by the witch and promptly vanished. Thus bringing us to the conclusion that Sir Belduke and Sir Silkhat were both killed by the same witch.
What?
Can Luke get like a milk crate to stand on or something? No? No? Okay. What an unexpected turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected, due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases. Well, you could find purple gems elsewhere. Like on a necklace, maybe? A brooch? Yeah. Although it possesses a physical form, it is completely weightless. Huh. Interesting.
Oh, this is terrible. Now Maya is accused of 2 murders. Oh, dearie, dearie me, I was right as always. This gruesome murder will be in the next exam. Make sure to take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened.
We are all ears, Miss Primstone. So, 3 months ago, say a familiar was conjured, and it really did float over and strangle Belduke. Why then was there no sign of a struggle? The crime scene has not been altered. Belduke did not leave any footprints in the powder. The desk was perfectly in arrangement. And if it was truly weightless, Belduke could have, run out of the room or something. Well, maybe he'd fumble for his keys and be unable to open the door, but from that drawing we saw, it looked like Belduke just kind of leaned back in his chair and died. That seems weird. Like, shoot, he is an alchemist. Maybe... Yeah, they don't exactly have the science of autopsy in this era, or this setting, rather. Maybe the familiar, like, poured some poison down his throat. Held him by his throat, leaned him back, and drizzled a mixture down... Well, that's conjecture, so... Huh.
That hat maker was pointing the knife at the witch's familiar.
Hold it!
Did you actually see the familiar?
Oh, dearie me, no, I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared. Had the boy opened the door sooner, no doubt we all would have seen it. If he were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally.
Luke did not dilly-dally.
Hang on!
Is everything all right, Luke? You seem to be in deep thought about something.
No, it's not right at all.
Is there something in Miss Primstone's testimony that you'd like to comment on?
That's what I keep telling you. The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone.
Oh, he's hung up on that still.
Dearie me, what an impertinent child. I'm telling you, I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
At any rate, as we can see now, the victim's arm is missing. As such, there is no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail. It matters not.
A mere detail matters not.
Oh my. Anyhow, I wonder, where could that missing arm be?
Yeah, that ought to be looked into.
Oh? I knew it! He probably took the arm.
Hang on!
Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? What if he, like, took the arm and sold it? And that's how he got rich? Mr. Emeer. It's Mr. Emeer Punchinbog the First to you, Bluey. Likes of you oughta show some respect for a future man of wealth such as me. Future man of wealth? You seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches. I can look wherever I bleedin' please. But anyway, why you're looking at me like that? I don't know about that golden bloke's right arm.
Excuse me, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What is it, Isabella?
I may be wrong, but there's something about that man. Wouldn't you say he looks, suspicious?
It's not just you. Everything about him is so shady it makes me want to double check my pockets. Mr. Emeer, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm. Pretending? Told you I don't know nothing. Nada, zero, nil. Shouldn't it be Zed, not zero? I ain't seen it, or heard about it, or put it in me pocket.
Put it in your pocket?
It wasn't me, honest. Seriously, I've got nothing to do with it.
Objection!
Huh?
Emeer! You lying, cheating, good for nothing! You tried to deceive me!
I knew it! I knew it! Order, who is that person? Wow, a fifth joins the stand, huh? You want to know who I am? I'm Price the pawnbroker. And this man is a shameless, cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me. What did he lie to you about? I'll tell you. On the day of the crime, Emeer came to my shop. He waltzed up to me saying he'd got his hands on a superb work of art rare as gold dust.
I think I know where this is going. That work of art, could it be? I've got it right here. Just like I thought. That's...
Oh my!
If you told me when I started this game that a case would involve the trafficking of human body parts, I'd be like, what the fuck did you just say? And yet, here we are. Professor. It's the professor's arm.
It's pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled, Towards Tomorrow or something like that. I'd never seen a piece of gold so fine before. And so, suspecting nothing, I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum. Who would have thought? And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, are a monster. You're as bad as a witch's familiar yourself. I didn't know it was his arm, I swear. When I saw it, it was already like that.
What do you mean?
I was last to the scene, and it caught me eye right away.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
That golden arm pointed up at the ceiling with such optimism and authority. I thought, looks like it's showing me the way to a better, brighter, richer tomorrow. To me, it was a work of art, precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket, and you pawned it.
You mounted it on a crude stand, gave it a tawdry title, and passed it off as some kind of a sculpture. Don't try and look away from the truth now.
Darn it, you can look wherever I darn please. I'll look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. That's Emeer Punch and Boggs' motto.
This guy is unreal. Why is it behind the stand now?
Where were we now? Yes. The victim's arm has now been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. Knights of the court, you may resume the Inquisition.
At least one thing's clear now. As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife. Oh, dearie me, it seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room. According to the witnesses' testimonies, that was the case, yes. Well then, I'm sure you'll concede that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger for a knife. Indeed, the victim's finger has a glint to it resembling that of a sword's edge.
Such a sense of power and intensity. It's enough to send a shiver down the spine of anyone being pointed at.
No puzzle is a match for the power of the professor's pointing finger. I guess no one remembers I'm known for pointing like that, too. I didn't forget, Phoenix. You're the best pointer in my heart. I think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. She's just taking pity on me.
Is that all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight?
Huh?
As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not is completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said. You'd better apologize to me now. Badgering me for no reason like that.
Is that all there is to it? Or could that arm hold some other clues? We've come this far. Maybe there's something else you could ask about.
She's right. I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Emeer, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. Yeah, where was it lying? I think that's a good one. You found the arm on the floor, pointing upwards, you said. Yeah, I did. Finders keepers, I say. It was pointed straight up at the ceiling. The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright. What are the odds of that? Actually, that reminds me of a puzzle. Now, if you could just show us on this floor plan here. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm. Sure, I remember that well. It was right here. Huh? Yes. That's where you would expect it to have fallen. Now, if that's where it was, then something definitely not right. If you keep looking at that sketch so intensely, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there's a contradiction in it somewhere. This arm is the final clue left by the professor. Even after turning to gold, he was pointing out something important. Namely, the key to solving this case. Well, Defender, do you see any problems in the locations as marked on the sketch? I mean, yeah, there's definitely a problem. Of course there is a problem. And where would that be, precisely? The professor's arm has armed me with some vital evidence. Its location leads to a huge contradiction. In that case, why don't you enlighten us and show us this so-called contradiction? What contradiction does the victim's arm create? So Layton was here, facing this direction. If he was turned to gold while holding that dynamic pose, wouldn't he tip over? So the arm would have broken when he fell over to this direction. And you're telling me it spun through the air and landed upright here, behind him? Something as heavy as gold. Or is it that the staff would be blocked by the arm? I think it's the staff. But you know what? I think I'm going to use a hint coin. I have over 100 and I value the carrots more, so I'm not 100% certain it's the staff, but... well, there you go. I think that's the thing. If the arm fell here upright, Maya couldn't have dropped the staff in that direction? Is that what we're going for?
Got it!
The contradiction is right here. And this is the witch's scepter. Let's go over the order of events as per the witnesses' testimonies. First, the witch cast a spell on the professor, turning him to gold. When all of you rushed to the crime scene, that golden statue fell down, making a loud noise. Next, the witch dropped the scepter. What are you getting at, Sir Blue Knight? All witnesses agree with this order of events. That's right. They all agree that's how it happened. But then there's the arm. New music? Well, what about it? Spit it out. Let's assume that Maya was the witch. Now look at the sketch again. The witch dropped the scepter after having turned the professor into gold. The scepter tumbled along the floor and was found here as asserted by the prosecution. However, that would be impossible. There's no way it could have been there. Oh, I see it now. The arm, it was... I'm glad you seem to have noticed. The victim's arm was on the floor right here, standing on its end. Therefore, the scepter couldn't possibly have fallen that way. Ergo, it couldn't have been the defendant who dropped the scepter. In other words, Maya is not a witch. Urgh. Order, order, order! How can this be? The Inquisition's reasoning has been proven invalid through just one single piece of unusual evidence. Call it Layton's magical touch. The professor sacrificed his arm to leave us just the evidence needed to turn this thing around. That was amazing, Mr. Wright. Professor.
Objection!
An admirable deduction, Sir Blue Knight. That I cannot deny. Even if we are to assume your reasoning is correct and that girl in the cage is not a witch. Even if? In the many trials I have attended, I have become well versed in certain aspects of magic. I am all too aware of its potential to confuse people, befuddle their minds, and make their memories hazy. Oh, memories, huh? No one can resist such a maddening influence. What are you trying to say, Inquisitor? The scepter could not have tumbled across the floor if the arm were in its way. However, can we be sure that is where the arm was? Are all of the witnesses able to confirm its location at the time?
Objection!
We've heard what they had to say several times now. They agreed that the scepter fell after the victim fell over.
Objection!
And yet, no one actually saw the scepter being dropped. Witnesses, think back to that incident once more. Did the golden statue fall over first, or did the staff fall before it? Think carefully about what you have seen and heard. Everything hinges on your testimonies. May your words guide us to the truth and decide the fate of this caged witch. Why do their orders keep changing? And where did Price go? I was about to get ready to leave, but it seems there is need for further questioning. Testify once more, witnesses. Tell us of the golden statue and the Telea Magica.
They can do that next time. Once more, something ridiculous comes true that I guessed might be the case, but I didn't say. Yeah, when I saw the statue's arm was missing, I knew it was snapped off, but also missing. I was like, oh, Emeer probably sold it, didn't he? And that's how he got so rich. Ugh. The sheer level of depravity and selfishness is awe-inspiring. Emeer Punchenbog the First. You know someone's self-centered when they call themselves the First, man. Money changes people. But yeah, this business of a familiar... I do wonder... We know Jean Grey Earl was wearing a purple gem on the day of this goldification. And then they swapped to a green gem for today. That is the key to all this. Jean Grey Earl is the key. I don't know how they will be able to be tied in, though. And you know, I'm still not sure what to think about the lightning bolt that started the fire that made the bell tower appear. That's clearly going to tie in. Belduke got spooked. He changed. He wrote an invisible ink letter to the storyteller. And then he was strangled to death. I think Belduke figured something out. Something the storyteller wanted to silence. That's what I think. Well, the mystery is mystifying. I don't feel like we're any closer to gaining headway, but at least we got Layton's helping hand. I think I know what I'm gonna name this video. Well, I guess that's enough for now. I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Luke Triton versus Phoenix Wright. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.